Hey, Knobhill Nighthawks. Here we are with Module 3, Lesson 1. It looks a little bit different today because we are going to be talking about area and perimeter. And to introduce that, we use grid paper. And this was a lot easier for us to work with than on the whiteboard. So we're Module 3, Lesson 1 says, I would be able to investigate and use the formulas for area and perimeter of rectangles. So we have a rectangle here. We use our length and our width to help us find area and perimeter. So this is our width, and then how tall it is, that is our length, okay? There are two formulas that we will use to find area and perimeter. So to find perimeter, our formula is 2 times length plus width. And then our area is length times width. So to find that with this rectangle, because we are on we're on grid paper, we can say, okay, well, our width is 1, 2, 3, 4, and our length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's not always going to be the case where it's on grid paper and you can really see the units. So each of those units would be 1 square unit. But to find the perimeter for this particular rectangle, we can fill our numbers in that formula. So if it's 2 times length plus width, well, we can say, well, this is going to be 2 times, and we said this was 4 units and 7 units. So this rectangle is 4 by 7. Okay, so we can say, well, 2 times 4 plus 7 is going to equal our perimeter. So we could do 7 plus 4 is going to give us 11. And then we're going to take that times 2. So we can say 2 times 11 is equal to 22. So our perimeter for this rectangle would be 22 units. Okay, and then to find the area, it's a little bit easier. It's just a multiplication problem instead of multiple steps. We take length times width. So length times width, our length is 7, our width is 4. So we would take 7 times 4 is equal to 28 units. Okay. So when we're working with area and perimeter, it's going to be really important that you know those formulas, because if it's a rectangle, that formula is going to work to find your perimeter or your area. Another way you can kind of understand perimeter is the outside of your rectangle. So I always like to describe it as a fence. So if we wanted to measure the fence of a yard, we would want to know the perimeter of the yard. And what we know about rectangles is that it's got 2 sides the same and then 2 sides the same. So we could say, well, this side is also going to be 7 units. This side is also going to be 4 units. You could take 7 plus 4 plus 7 plus 4 and add your perimeter units up, and that's going to give you that 22 units. Okay. Okay, so let's clear this guy out, and we'll try one more. Oh, I took my unit out, but that's okay. I just want you gone. All right, so make another rectangle. We'll work through it together. And then for your problem, you can draw it out if you want to. You don't have to have each unit, but if you know your length and your width, then you guys should be able to find your area and perimeter. All right, so this one's going to be 3 by 9. So there's 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's fill that in so you can really see it. So there's our next rectangle. So again, we can find our area and perimeter by using these formulas. So if my rectangle was 3 units by 9 units, then we can fill it our formula in. So to find our perimeter, we would take 2 times 3 plus 9 equals our perimeter. So we always solve what's inside the parentheses first. So I'm going to take 3 plus 9 first. 3 plus 9 is going to give me 12. So this is going to become 2 times 12 and equal 24 units. So our perimeter for this rectangle is 24 units. And then we can find our area. Well, our area is just our length times width. So 9 times 3 is going to give us 27 units. Okay. And again, you could count up all the squares to double check yourself when you're working with graph paper. But like I said, we're not always going to be working with graph paper. So I'm going to show you what that's going to look like next when we don't have that. Okay. All right. So let's clear this table out. Oopsies. Okay. So if we did not have the graph paper and we just had our rectangles, as long as you know your length and width, you're still going to be able to find your area and perimeter. Okay. So if I just get a box here. Okay. So say I have a rectangle and it just gave me the units. And I know that my width is equal to 9, and my length, 9 units, and my length is equal to 7 units. But because I know that, I am able to find my area and perimeter. Okay, so I'm going to come back up here to my formulas. And I'm going to fill it in. So my, I'm going to take 2 times 9 plus 7 is equal to, remember we do whatever is inside the parentheses first. So 9 plus 7 gives me 16. So I'm going to take 2 times 16. And you're just doubling 16. So if you aren't really strong with your multiplication facts yet, you could do 16 plus 16. 15 and 15 is 30, plus 2 more, so 32. Lots of different ways you can do multiplication. So 32 units would be our perimeter for this rectangle. And then to find our area, we would take our 9 times 7. I tell us, our kids in class all the time that whenever we are practicing our multiplication, it doesn't go anywhere. Multiplication is so important. Okay, so 9 times 7 is going to give us 63 units. So our area and perimeter isn't always going to be very close to each other. It's going to be depending on the rectangle. Okay. Okay. So what if we had a rectangle and we knew the area, but we were missing our length? So that's what we're going to do next. Okay. So let's see if it'll let me type in the middle of this guy. Nope. Okay. So we're missing our width, okay? But our length is still 7. And if I come up here, I'm going to give you the area. I'm going to talk you through what would we do if we knew the area, but not our width. So our area is going to be 49 units. So we have to work backwards, right? So if we are multiplying to get that number, then we need to do the opposite to find our missing number. So we can skip count by sevens until we get to 49, see how many groups of 7 we can make out of 49. You can use long division. There's a lot of different ways, but if you know your basic multiplication facts, then that should help you as well, right? Because if I know that length times width is my area, then 7 times something is equal to 49. Well, what do we know about our multiplication facts? So 7 times blank is equal to 49. So 7 times 7 is equal to 49. So then we could fill in our width is 7 units. So 7 times 7 is equal to 49. So we are either going to be multiplying or dividing. Okay, so if you don't have to multiply, then you're going to have to divide. Okay, so you work backwards or opposite. Okay. I think we will stop there. The next couple lessons, we'll get some more practice in it. I'm going to be uploading some practice book pages too, in case you didn't get that picked up at home, just so you can get extra practice. The only thing that'll still be graded is your ed puzzles, but your workbook pages, problem set pages will be expected to be done too, just so we're getting extra practice and really mastering these skills. Okay? Great job. If you have any questions, please let me know. And we'll be working on this in small groups this week as well. All right, good job, Nighthawk.